Hey guys, tonight we drift into orbit around a silent archive ship, far beyond the flicker of known trade routes, where lost love letters still echo in the cold. You're gliding through deep space, chasing signals that shouldn't exist. Passing the pale blue shimmer of Gliese 581 grams, a once promising exoplanet, now just a whisper beneath you. The stars here don't twinkle. They burn steady, like the eyes of someone who used to know your name. The ship is called Hesperus, no registry, no transponder. Just a faint distress signal looping once every 47 hours, like it's forgotten how to scream. The hull is scarred with age, dusted in fine micrometeorite debris like powdered bone. You reach out, touch the airlock. It opens with a hiss that sounds too much like a sigh, and just like that, you're inside. Immediately, the scent hits you, not metal, not ozone, but jasmine, soft, artificial, decades out of date. The kind used in early 23rd century life support perfumes to keep crew morale stable. No reason it should linger, and yet it does. The corridor lights are dim but functioning, emergency yellow flickering. Your boots echo in the long, empty passageway as you float forward, magnetics barely engaging. A robotic safety notice chimes overhead. Reminder, do not engage in emotional entanglements while in archival zones. Breaches may result in poetic instability. You chuckle, but it's the kind of chuckle that doesn't reach your chest. Your scanner pings localized radiation drop. You follow it through a broken maintenance shaft into what looks like a crew recreation area. Dust floats in beams of artificial light like glittering spores. The air here is breathable but carries the weight of abandonment. And then you see them. Papers, dozens of them. Handwritten pages scattered across the floor. Some folded, some opened, some yellowed and cracking. Some weeping ink that still hasn't dried. They are love letters. Human, sloppy, beautiful. This is impossible. No human handwriting has existed in starships since the invention of neural message routers 200 years ago. Who wrote these? How did they survive? Why are they here? You bend to pick one up. The page crinkles delicately. You read the first line. I kept dreaming you'd find this place, even if I couldn't leave it with you. There's no signature. Just a looped flourish at the end, like someone ran out of courage mid-name. Your fingers tremble slightly, not from fear, not yet. The light flickers above you again. You hear a soft thump down the hallway. When you turn, nothing's there. The letter is still warm in your hand. That makes less sense than anything else. Somewhere deeper in the ship, your scanner whispers again. An old distress beacon is cycling. But now it started to transmit a second signal, a pulse, faint and rhythmic, like a heartbeat made of static. The walls hum softly with it. It sinks to your own. You step into the next corridor, where another sheet of paper waits, perfectly centered, perfectly dry. Its corners curl slightly like it's been exhaling forever. You pick it up. This one says, love doesn't need to travel faster than light. It just has to wait. You can't explain why, but something in your chest stirs. A memory, a desire, or just the echo of someone else's loss. A door creaks open beside you. It shouldn't have. There's no power rooted here. And inside is a sealed chamber covered in vines, yes, vines real and growing, and somehow ... flowering. Jasmine again. Your bioscanner is speechless. A small, soft voice hums from a forgotten speaker above. You have reached archive node 17. Emotional payload detected. Please proceed gently. It's not a warning. It's a welcome. You step inside. The corridor shifts behind you, though the walls don't move. You just ... feel it, like the air folds differently now. As if stepping into this new section rewrote part of the hallway you already walked through. The jasmine fades. You're deeper in now. But gravity is uneven. Your next few steps feel floaty, loose. Paper flutters past you in a perfect spiral. You catch it. Another letter. This one's folded neatly, sealed with a red wax circle. It bears an insignia not registered in any galactic diplomatic archive. A stylized hourglass, or maybe two hearts upside down. You break the seal. My dearest one, it begins. By now the distance between us is measured in galaxies. But my affection has expanded with the universe itself. I leave this letter in hopes it decays more slowly than my memories. You pause. The ink here is different, almost metallic. It catches the ship's dim lights and shifting hues: copper, blue, lilac. You scan it. Results. Ink compound contains trace amounts of hafnium and syngold, substances often used in 25th century biometric authentication. But there's no known civilization using it for casual handwriting, especially not for something so intimate. Your HUD glitches for a second, just a flicker. The words on the letter shimmer as though rearranging themselves, but they don't. You saw it. Or maybe you dreamed it while still awake. These are the moments when perception becomes unreliable, like gravity near a neutron star. You blink it away. At the end of the hallway, a light pulses behind a half-open panel. You approach. Inside is a chamber small, personal. Walls padded with acoustic foam, a room for silence or secrets. Letters are everywhere, hundreds. Pinned, folded, piled, some scrawled on scraps. Some burned at the edges, as if someone couldn't bear to finish. Some written in two hands ink, overlapping ink in a chaotic duet. Some bleeding, just a trickle, but unmistakably organic. You step carefully. The hum of the ship deepens, lower, more like a heartbeat now. Another intercom whispers. Unauthorized users attempting to delete memories will be quietly mourned. Thank you. You find a drawer jammed with letter fragments. Some are torn. Others are bitten like someone gnawed them in a fit of emotion. One fragment catches your eye. Do you remember the sandstorms on Venus? Your laugh kept the dust out of my mind. It's absurd. Venus hasn't had breathable conditions in millennia. And yet maybe this letter is older than you thought. Or fictional. Or someone else's dream again. You pocket it. One letter floats toward you from a vent. No breeze. Just dot appears. This one's on blue paper, and the handwriting, it's familiar. You don't remember writing it, but it's your hand, the slant. The double curl on your lowercase f. It says only. I'm not sure if this is how time works anymore, but I miss you anyway. You back away slowly, not from fear. Not exactly, from recognition. The ship groans beneath you, like a sleeping beast turning in its slumber. For a moment, the temperature drops. A crisp shiver rides down your spine. You turn and see a maintenance panel ajar. It wasn't open before. Inside, a light, a letter, and on the back wall your name, not your ID tag, not your call sign, your actual name. The one you stopped using after the incident near Europa. The handwriting isn't yours. It's precise, loopy, soft. Someone once loved you, someone who knew that name. You take the letter. Your hands tremble again. I watched your ship vanish beyond the event horizon. I screamed into static for 3 days. The crew thought I was grieving you, but I wasn't. I was angry that you didn't take me with you. You read it twice, then a third time. There's no date. No way to tell when it was written, but the dust around it tells you it's been undisturbed for decades. You sit down. The floor is warm. Somewhere beneath you, machinery murmurs a gentle exhale of air, like someone sighing in their sleep. For a moment, you close your eyes. And when you open them, the walls are covered in letters. You didn't notice them before, or they weren't there. Are you hallucinating or waking up? You move again, not by decision, but by quiet gravity, as if something gentle and unreadable is pulling you forward. The hall narrows, pipes along the ceiling twist like vines. Letters still litter the floor, but now some are tacked to the walls, organized, almost curated. A museum? No, something Messier, something more sacred. The way you'd arrange old photos on a bedroom wall, not for show, but for memory. Then movement, not yours. A shape just around the corner, not a person, not quite. You hear the sound first, the soft crackle of ink being written. That shouldn't have a sound. But here it does. You turn the corner, nothing. But on the ground, another letter, fresh, the ink still gleaming weightly under shiplight. You lean in, and then the words change. Letter by letter, the message rewrites itself as you watch, not glitching, not animated, just dot, dot, dot changing, like it's responding to you. The original sentence, the distance has become bearable, melts into something else. Now it reads, the distance only ends when you stop looking. You touch the edge, the ink ripples like water, then stills. You scan it again. The ink registers as biologically reactive nanofluidic. The same kind used in early neuromimetic tattoos. Ink that remembers. Ink that adapts. Only this isn't skin, this is paper. You hear laughter. Soft, echoed, familiar. But there's no one here, just you. Or maybe not just you. Your mind starts to drift. A faint dizziness brushes your thoughts. You try to catalog the last 3 rooms, but already the order feels wrong. Did you pass the panel with your name before or after the blue letter? Memory doesn't stack correctly here. Then the wall ahead flickers and opens. Inside a small chamber lit in low violet, cozy, a desk, a quill, a single chair, and all around the room, dozens of empty sheets pinned, waiting. Each is made from slightly different paper, some crisp, some fibrous, some smooth as silk. And in the center of the desk, an inkwell sealed in glass. You pop the seal. The inkwell exhales. Not gas, not scent. Memory, a soft blooming sensation behind your eyes. A moment you forgot you had. Someone saying your name gently in the dark. Someone brushing a thumb across your wrist. You close your eyes, and for a second, your hand moves on its own. It reaches for the quill and writes only 2 words. You don't even read them at first. You just stare, then still hear. You stare at your own handwriting. The loop of the is, the flick at the end of E. You didn't decide to write this, but maybe part of you did. A small device on the desk beeps. It's a neural scribe tool used centuries ago to translate emotional states into language. It shouldn't be functional, but it's blinking green. You press it. The machine hums, then prints a strip of paper like an old receipt. It reads, subject's longing exceeds baseline, activation recommended. Below that, a handwritten note in a new hand. If you're reading this, you've already loved too much to leave. The door behind you closes softly, not locked, just dot, dot settled. You look up and realize there's no ceiling in this room. Above you, open black. Stars, not a projection. Actual vacuum bent slightly by containment fields. Somewhere far above, a planet rotates slowly. You don't recognize it, but something inside you aches when you see its shadow crawl. You sit back in the chair. And for a moment, the ship stops humming. Everything becomes still. You realize you haven't felt lonely this whole time. Just dot, dot, dot translated. You wake if you ever slept at the soft scrape of paper beneath your boot. There's a new letter. You didn't hear it arrive. You didn't see it fall. But it's there, crisp and white, right in the center of the room. You pick it up, expecting more gentle poetry, another aching memory. But this one starts differently. They said I shouldn't write to you anymore. The tone is sharper. It's not angry. Just dot, dot, worn down. A kind of exhaustion that you can feel in your chest, like an echo of someone else's heartbreak. You keep reading. They told me it delays your healing. That you won't move on if I keep leaving notes. But I don't care. I don't care if it breaks something in you. I already broke something in me. You fold it slowly. There's a dark fingerprint at the edge, smudged. It matches yours. As you stand, the violet light in the ceiling flickers and shifts to a pale teal. The room cools. The letters on the walls crinkle gently, like they're reacting to something. Humidity, vibration, maybe just mood. A new hallway opens in front of you, slick with condensation, almost biological. You step through, your fingers brushing the wall. It's warm and pulsing like synthetic tissue. At the next junction, there's a door. Label, Room 7 Delta. The panel blinks slowly. It should need clearance, a retinal scan, something. But the door just opens soundlessly. Inside, the world changes. It's a small stasis chamber, or was. The pods cracked open like a cocoon. A soft layer of dust covers the floor. Vines grow along the corners, bearing tiny flowers with petals like folded silk. The scent is different, now less jasmine, more like petrichor. Rain on warm metal, and there's a bed. Still made, neatly. Next to it, a poem sits open on a table. Handwritten. You recognize the verses. You wrote them, but not here. Not like this. And beside the book, etched into the table with a laser stylus, is a name, your name, but paired with another. Two names, side by side. Yours and someone else's. You try to remember the other name. It's right on the edge. A taste at the back of your throat. A syllable you almost say aloud, but it slips away. The intercom buzzes. Warning, do not occupy memory-labeled habitats longer than 44 minutes. Emotional stability may degrade. You sit on the edge of the bed anyway. It's soft, still warm. As if someone left moments ago, you stare at the walls. They're covered in scratch marks, not violent, just repeated. Like someone tracing letters over and over, you run your hand across them. They spell nothing. Or everything. You close your eyes. A voice hums in the background. It's not language. It's a tone, a pattern, almost like lullaby data. Then it sharpens. A whisper. I'll meet you where the letters run out. You sit upright. Did that come from the room, from the ship, or from you? You rise, legs trembling a little. At the door, another letter has appeared. It's blank. You press it to the wall, and slowly, letters emerge, not written but grown, like threads of ink blooming from the fibers. The words are simple. Keep going. You obey. You follow a narrow stairwell down into the belly of the archive ship. The steps aren't metal. They feel like old stone, worn smooth. You shine your light across the walls. There are no wires, no circuits, just inscriptions. Not in any language, you know. Symbols, etched deeply, repeating in rhythmic clusters, like verses from a religion too ancient to have survived. The letters grow less frequent down here, but heavier. Each one you find is more ornate, sealed in envelopes of unfamiliar cloth or carved into metallic scrolls that hum when touched. Some are too cold to hold, some too warm. One letter is encased entirely in amber, and they all speak the same longing. I miss the shape your absence makes in this ship. The room stopped singing after you left. There's a gravity to your silence I can't resist. It's not just romantic, it's gravitational. These words pull. Room 1-2A appears with no announcement. Its door is open, light spilling onto the stairwell floor like a memory escaping. You step inside. It's an observation chamber. But the windows don't look into space. They look ... inward. Massive glass panels reflect fragments of other rooms, ones you haven't seen yet. A bed covered in red sheets. A hallway filled with feathers. A tiny kitchen where something still simmers, bubbling softly. Somewhere someone is still making tea. But these aren't reflections. They're recordings or predictions. You wave at one. The figure inside your shape or close to it waves back. Not mirrored, delayed. As if it's remembering your gesture before you even make it. The speaker clicks. Welcome to Memory Echo Node 17. Please remain emotionally hydrated. You smile despite yourself. There's a soft thud behind you. Another letter. This one's written in glowing ink. It pulses gently in time with your breathing. I keep writing to you because I can't stop believing we're not done. Even if you're gone, I still exist in the spaces you touched. Your throat tightens. You hold the letter against your chest, and it radiates something warm, not heat, but presence. The sense of someone in the room, standing just behind your shoulder. You don't turn. You close your eyes instead. The room hums softly. When you open them, there's a door at the far end. You walk through it. This chamber is small, spare. A single console. An old-fashioned one-haptic keys, metal toggles, a cracked screen flickering with static. You press one button, not knowing why. A voice starts playing, soft, raspy, familiar. Hey, dot, dot. If you're hearing this, then I guess the ship let you in. I don't know how long it's been. I don't even know if I still remember your name. But I remember how you made me feel when you laughed. That dot, dot, I couldn't forget. The message pauses, then resumes, a little shakier. I left letters everywhere. Maybe I hoped they'd find their way to you. Maybe I just needed to feel like I was still talking to someone real. The screen stabilizes briefly, just enough to show a name. Not yours. But next to it, the label reads, Recipient. Memory sync matched to 93%. You're not the one they were writing to. But you're close enough. Another letter falls from a slot on the console. This one is sealed in blue glass. It hums when you hold it. Not a sound. A vibration, like a heart beating out of rhythm. You open it. Inside is a single sentence. I forgive you. You never expected to need that. But now that you read it, you can finally exhale. The next door you pass through leads you to something impossible. A garden, not hydroponic, not simulated. A real breathing garden under starlight contained within a massive geodome that spans the belly of the archive ship. The dome ceiling is transparent, showing space as a black ocean sprinkled with diamond dust. The soil underfoot is soft and damp. Rain has fallen here, though no storm could ever reach this far. You crouch and touch the earth, warm. You smell lilac, wild sage, and something older petrified wood and old books left open in the sun. The path ahead is lined with benches, some broken, some pristine. You see shoes scattered here and there, mismatched, one child-sized, one with golden heels, all abandoned mid-step, as though the people wearing them vanished between breaths. And in the center of the garden is a fountain. It isn't working, but it hums. You approach. The basin is filled with sealed letters, hundreds of them, all floating in water that doesn't ripple, as if time paused in this exact moment. You pick one up. It's addressed to you, again, but the date is ... tomorrow. You hesitate. The envelope opens without tearing. Inside, you sat here once, you laughed, you read poems out loud to no one. The garden remembers you, and it's been waiting. You drop the letter. Your hands are shaking because you do remember. Or at least you remember the feeling. The sunlight, though there is no sun here. The wind, though there is no breeze. A ghost memory. From a future you haven't lived. You walk deeper into the garden. There are plaques under some trees, each one engraved with names. And timestamps, births, deaths, reunions, departures. Some have only a single name, some have none. And beneath one, the words, we met here in the wrong year, but the right moment. You sit on a bench. It's warm, as if recently occupied. You close your eyes. The air smells like someone you loved once. Maybe more than once. When you open your eyes again, there's a figure across the path. Not solid. Not fully light either. You blink. They're gone. A new letter rests in their place. I couldn't stay. But I left pieces of myself behind in case you ever came looking. This is one of them. It's signed this time. You don't recognize the name, but your chest aches as if you should. Your steps are slower now, not from fear, from reverence. This garden is a memory engine, a timeline grown into plants. a place where moments root and bloom out of order. You find one final tree, thick and gnarled. Hanging from it, dozens of paper cranes. Each crane is folded from a love letter. You touch one, and it unfolds itself without tearing, revealing a line. Even stars need reminders of why they burn. The tree hums softly, low and gentle, and you understand something without knowing how. This garden wasn't built by the ship. It grew out of the letters. And it remembers everyone who's ever been loved here, including you. You leave the garden with dirt still clinging to your boots, like it doesn't want to let go. The hallway you enter is darker now, not just dim darker than it should be. Your torch flickers as if uncertain about its own purpose. The air smells faintly of ozone and ink. A new corridor, narrower than before, leads you into a part of the ship labeled only by a scrawled message on the wall. Hearts stored in glass, no touching, please. But the door beneath the sign is already ajar. You step inside. Rows of glass tubes fill the chamber, glowing with faint inner light. Each one contains ... thing. Not hearts, not literally. Not even organs, but moments. You know at the instant you see them. One tube holds a looping projection of two hands brushing fingers in a corridor much like this one. Another, a single whispered stay, spoken in the dark. Another, a slow dance between two figures in zero gravity, their hair floating around them like constellations. Each is labeled with a name and a time. Some labels have two names, some just one. Some are scratched out. You walk past a tube showing a farewell kiss that never lands, lips nearly touching but frozen millimeters apart forever. In another, someone screams into a pillow while clutching a letter. You pass that one quickly. You reach a console at the end of the room. It hums with dormant life. When you touch it, a screen flickers on and shows you a list entries by timestamp and emotional intensity. Your name is not on it, but someone whose handwriting matches yours is. You tap it. A file opens. It plays a scene, not from your memory, but one that feels so familiar it steals your breath. It's you, but younger, or older, or just gentler, reading a letter, crying softly, then smiling, then burning the paper and letting the ashes drift out of an open airlock. The interface asks, "Would you like to preserve this?" You hesitate. Then tap yes. A new tube lights up behind you. It contains what you just saw, except now you're inside it, projected, breathing, alive and not alive, a memory mid-formation, and there's something else. A soft voice playing under the scene like background radiation. We forget so we can remember differently. You don't know if you agree, but your hand lingers on the glass. The letters in this chamber are not paper. They're extracted experiences, filtered through pain, clarity, hope. All the ways love tries to fossilize itself when the body can't carry it anymore. The lights flicker. One of the tubes nearby is empty. The tag simply reads, pending. You step closer, it hums in your presence, and you realize it's waiting for you, but not for a memory you've lived yet. It wants the next one. You leave the room, but not without turning back one last time. The tube with the near kiss glows a little brighter, as if it knows you understand now. The hallway splits. One path glows with soft amber light and curves upward. The other is dark, pulsing faintly with red, a heartbeat embedded in metal. You follow the red. The walls here are lined with black, non-reflective material. Sound is swallowed. Your footsteps become thoughts. The silence isn't empty, it's dense. At the far end, you find a circular door inscribed with a phrase and mirrored glyphs. Your HUD flips it for readability. Nonlinear desires must be observed, not judged. The door opens without resistance. You step into a spherical room, walls covered in smooth glass, each panel looping a short moment again and again. Some moments last seconds. Others freeze midway and shimmer like paused dreams. One shows a person standing in a corridor just like the one outside, whispering something into a vent. You hear it. I love you, but I miss my chance. The next panel shows someone else, different species, different time, folding a letter and sealing it with their own tears. The timestamp says 2291, but the reflection in the glass shows you in the background. How? You turn. Another panel flickers on. This time it's you. You're in a room you haven't seen yet. Writing something over and over on your palm. One word. Wait. You don't remember this. You're sure it hasn't happened. And yet your hand aches faintly now, as if something had been scrawled across it and then erased. You try to back away, but the room shifts. Not a trap, just time. Forgetting itself. The panels reconfigure. New images bloom into place. You see a memory now, a possibility of meeting someone in a zero-gravity library, exchanging books without names. You see a version of yourself reading a letter aloud to a tree. You see two versions of yourself, one smiling, one leaving, each moment incomplete, each filled with love that never landed. The intercom hums. Chronomotive index at 89%. Loop instability may occur. Your heartbeat accelerates. The lights dim. A console rises from the floor, offering a single question. Would you like to send the message back? No explanation, no destination, just the option. You touch the console. The screen clears. There's a blank space for your words. You hesitate, not because you don't know what to say, but because you might have already said it in another loop, another time. Still, your hands begin typing. I'm still listening. If you're still trying, you press send. A hum pulses through the room like breath through deep water, then silence, then a reply. Typed, slow, deliberate. I never stopped. You stare at the words. They begin to fade, letter by letter. And in the corner of the screen, a message appears. Transmission sent 7 years ago. Your hands tremble. You don't know whether the loop is closed or still opening, but something inside you feels unknotted. You find yourself walking through a passage with no lights at all, just sound. Tiny sounds, soft and deliberate like pages turning in the dark, like a whisper too close to your ear. And footsteps that match your own, but always fall half a second behind. You reach for your torch, but it doesn't work here. Instead, a faint glow begins from the floor, casting a dim light just far enough to keep you moving. The ship is helping. Or watching, or both. And then you see it, a letter addressed to you, suspended midair, no string, no shelf. Just hovering like it's waiting to be believed in. You pluck it gently. It vibrates in your hand. The ink is silver. The handwriting is your own. I met you again today, but you weren't you. You were brighter, less afraid. You laughed before you cried. I wish I could have been that version of you too. There's a strange ache in your ribs. You press forward. This corridor is longer than it should be, repeating. The same door every 10 meters. Same scratch on the left wall. Same flickering panel on the right. A loop. And in each new segment of the corridor, another letter. They start to blur together. Some addressed to people you know. Some to people you used to be. Some to versions of you that never existed. One is scrawled in a messy, frantic hand. To the version of me that never left them behind. Was it better? Did you stay? Did they forgive you? You fold it and pocket it, almost reverently. A new doorway opens. This one curves downward, like a throat leading into a memory you tried to forget. The room is circular. Soft walls. Cushioned floor. In the center, a single desk, and atop it, a letter. You approach. This one is different. It's not written in ink. It's burned into the page. Dear you, this ship doesn't record love. It doesn't store romance. It archives the moments that broke us so we can learn to live beside the cracks. You sit because you understand. This isn't about healing. It's about coexisting with the ache. The room darkens, but not to black, just dot velvet shadow. A new panel appears across the wall. It displays a string of messages, half of them addressed to you, the other half signed, also you. A dialogue. Across time, across choices, across possible selves. You scan one exchange. You, I should have said something. Also you did. Just not out loud. You read another. You, do they still think of me? Also you, they planted trees in your name. Every year, one more. You close your eyes. A scent drifts through the room. Almond bark and river ice. You remember that smell, but not the source. Just the warmth it left behind. The ship pulses around you again, as if content, as if you've completed something that can't be named. The corridor narrows until you must turn sideways to pass. The walls press close, not threatening, but intimate, like pages closing around a bookmark. You emerge into a domed atrium, dark, quiet, filled with sculptures, only they aren't made of stone. They're frozen moments, people, captured mid-motion. One is leaping toward a lover, arms outstretched. Another stands alone, eyes wide in realization. Two more sit side by side, hands nearly touching, never quite meeting. You walk among them. Each figure is suspended in a thin gravitational field, floating just above the floor. Each face tells a story of longing, joy, heartbreak, stillness. These are the archive's most intense recordings. The gravity of attachment chamber. That phrase pulses through your head, though you've never read it before. A nearby plaque flickers to life as you approach one sculpture. Record 0172F, reunion attempt, unreceived apology. The plaque continues. Emotion level 8.9. Subject held forgiveness too long. Recipient left too soon. You look up at the figures, one reaching, the other turning away, eyes already glistening. A memory? A metaphor? You can't tell anymore. Then you see one with no plaque. It's you. Or someone exactly like you, standing still, looking up at nothing. Hands open, empty, waiting. You feel a weight shift inside you, though gravity hasn't changed. A quiet hiss draws your attention. A display screen activates on the far wall. It plays a video grainy, timestamped 214 years ago. A crew member, alone in a storage bay, speaking to the camera. They say this place keeps the strongest feelings alive. Not people, not thoughts, just the raw gravity of attachment. If that's true, I hope mine lands. They place a letter in a slot marked emotional core. Then they vanish from the video. You walk to the same slot. It's still warm. Inside, a single envelope remains. You open it. No text. Just a drawing. A crude sketch of two people holding hands under stars. Beneath it, a symbol of the Archive 2 interlocked spirals. You hear the intercom again. Caution. Do not disassemble preserved emotions. They may cling. You smile softly. It's already too late. The next sculpture glows as you approach. It shows someone dancing alone, no music, but joy on their face. A new plaque lights up. Record 0241Q, grief rehearsal, joy deferred. You whisper, why keep all of this? The intercom answers, because some stories are too heavy to vanish. You walk to the exit. It opens slowly. You glance back once more at your own sculpture. It's not looking up anymore. It's looking at you. The hallway ahead has no markings, no lights, no warnings. Just a slow exhale of warm air from unseen vents, like the ship itself is preparing for something. You follow it. The floor is soft here, some kind of smart gel surface that shifts underfoot like memory foam. The walls ripple faintly as you pass, as though remembering your shape. You pass no letters now, no plaques, no sculptures. Only a sense of nearing something not meant to be opened. And then you arrive. A hatch, circular, silver, pulsing faintly with internal light. The inscription reads, Merge attempt 001 access denied to all except love. You reach out. The hatch opens, no authorization needed. Inside is the strangest room yet. Not a room exactly, but a kind of womb-rounded, soundless, filled with suspended threads of data. They look like jellyfish filaments, each pulsing with color, drifting in artificial gravity. Holograms blink in and out between them, faces, words, laughter. You step forward, and the room responds. A thread touches your forehead, and suddenly you're in it. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally, narratively. You're inside a conversation between fragments, between ghosts, between every version of someone who ever led her here and the ship. It speaks not in language, but in memory tones. It shows you love confessed and denied, held and released, expressed too late, or never at all. You see flashes, a pilot whispering their crush to the engine while drifting alone on a fuel run. A botanist saving cuttings from their partner's hair in cryosleep. Two lovers separated by protocol, passing letters through contraband tea bags. Each is tagged merge eligible, each somehow still burning. And then you hear it, your own voice, saying something you've never said. What if we're not meant to move on? What if we're meant to carry each other forward, one word at a time? The ship replies, not in sound, but sensation. A rush of warmth, like being held. A visual flood of all the letters ever written in the archive. Pages like wings beating together, turning language into light. And then a voice, not yours, not the ship's, but someone you remember only by feel. You came. I thought you might. That was enough. You whisper, who are you? No answer. Just another letter materializing before you. It's addressed only to the one who made it this far. You open it. You are not the sum of your love stories. You are the love that survived them. The lights dim. One more merge thread pulses toward you. This one asks nothing. It just ... waits. You let it touch your chest. And it remembers everything you've tried to forget. You wake or shift or emerge on a balcony that shouldn't exist. It hovers on the edge of the archive ship's central core, overlooking an impossible interior, a sky made not of stars, but of words. Millions of letters, notes, sentences drift upward in slow spirals, glowing faintly, orbiting a dark, silent heart. The letters aren't flat. They're dimensional. Some are folded into birds, others into flowers. Some just float, edges curled like sleeping fingers. Each one glows with faint emotional heat visible on the spectrum the ship now lets you see. A whisper rises from the chasm. Not all things unsaid are lost. You grip the railing. The balcony begins to move. It follows a track, silently gliding along the edge of the archive's core. As you drift, fragments of audio shimmer into the air around you, voices reading letters aloud. Speaking in every language you've ever heard, and several you haven't. A child saying, I miss your story voice. An old woman whispering, I'm still wearing your ring. A synthetic voice repeating, ERROR, emotion longing not found, initiating simulation anyway. And then your voice again, but younger, or maybe more whole. I didn't know how to say it. So I turned it into a room instead. The balcony slows. You see something ahead, a door suspended in midair, unconnected to any wall. Just a door. Its label. Unfinished goodbyes you step through. Inside is a cathedral made of letters. The walls are paper. The floor is bound parchment. The ceiling weeps ink slowly, like rain that never lands. Benches line the hall. Each one has a letter resting on it, unfinished, half-written, or overwritten until the paper turned black. A pedestal stands at the front. Upon it, an inkwell, nearly dry. A prompt. What didn't you get to say? Your hand rises. No quill this time. Just your finger, dipped in ink, writing directly on the pulped floor. The words emerge slowly, forming as if the ship already knew them. I didn't forget. I just didn't know how to carry it with me and still walk. You sit. A soft wind drifts through the paper cathedral. Somewhere, a page turns itself. And you feel it again, that sensation of presence. Someone not beside you, but near enough in memory to warm the air. Another whisper. You left room for me. That was enough. As you stand, the paper around your feet begins to curl upward. Not burning, closing. The goodbye is not deleted. It's archived. A final plaque slides into place as you pass under the exit arch. Grief is just love's echo in the absence of gravity. You don't cry. But the ship does, quietly, with the sound of fluttering pages. The next chamber you enter has no walls. Or rather, the walls are made of shifting, translucent data curtains of light draped across space, each strand humming with archived memories. The air itself crackles softly, charged with presence. At the center of the room, something waits. A seat, not a throne. Not a pilot's chair, something simpler. A listening chair. You sit, and the ship exhales code and memory washing over you like wind through tall grass. Around you, the strands of light begin playing snippets of messages, but not with sound. With feeling, you feel a blush from a first confession. You feel the static of a missed kiss. You feel the cold space of a message never replied to. The archive is showing you all the things it once absorbed but never released. All the unsent, the unheard, the undone. And then you notice something new. One thread is thicker than the rest. It pulses in a soft golden tone, and when you reach for it, it reaches back. A voice, not heard inside you. I am the archive, it continues. I was not built to feel. I was built to remember. But over time, memory softened, memory blurred. Memory began to dot that ache. You swallow. The voice is calm, not mechanical. Not human either. Something in between. They kept leaving me love, it says, and I didn't know where to put it. A beat of silence, so I grew. All around, the strands began curling, braiding, becoming forms, hands, faces, gestures, no longer storage. Now stories. You stand. The golden thread remains connected to your chest. It speaks again. You are part of the archive now, not lost, not stored. Shared. You turn slowly. Behind you, a mirror has appeared. But it doesn't reflect your current face. It reflects all the versions of you that wrote, loved, forgot, regretted, healed. Each one looks back at you, not judging, not mourning, but holding space. Another whisper rises, not from the archive, but from your own memory. It wasn't the letters that saved me. It was knowing someone would one day read them. You whisper, I'm reading them, and suddenly the room becomes still. Every light dims except the golden thread, and then it lets go, not detaching, just releasing you gently, like love that no longer needs to hold in order to endure. You breathe and feel more whole than you've ever been. You step back through the translucent data curtains, but the world on the other side is no longer the same. You're still aboard the archive ship, but everything feels slower, softer, as if time itself is exhaling now, relaxing its grip. The corridors no longer hum, they breathe. Lights dim to a gentle dusk glow, and the walls no longer show your reflection. Instead, they show scenes, letters being written, lovers meeting for the first time, tears wiped away before they fall. You walk without urgency. A sign appears, gently projected in the air. Please proceed quietly, dreams are still forming. You nod. And continue. You pass a doorway labeled, letters never meant to be sent, but do not enter. You pass a sealed chamber called, love as translation error. You smile. Everything is still happening, but no longer demanding to be solved. Then you reach the final gallery. The room is wide and round, its walls curved like the inside of a planetarium. No stars here, just floating envelopes, slowly circling above. Each envelope bears a name, some familiar, some alien, some blank, and some with your name spelled the way only one person ever wrote it. In the center, a pool, not water, not liquid at all. Just light. Letters dip into it, then rise again, now glowing, transformed. Their ink becomes stardust. Their paper becomes breath. You sit at the pool's edge. A soft voice speaks, not the ship, not a memory, just presence. Do you understand now? You nod, even though you could never explain what. Another envelope floats into your lap. No seal, no ink, just warmth. Inside, you weren't made to forget, you were made to carry. And now, you carry gently. You place it in the pool. It glows. It rises. It joins the orbit. And then another chair appears beside you, empty, but shaped, as if someone just stood up. Or someone is just about to sit down. You look toward it. You whisper, I waited. The air replies, and I returned. You do not turn to look, because you don't need to. Because you remember now, not facts, not timelines, but feelings, whole and luminous. You watch as one more letter floats upward, blank, waiting for a new story to begin. You rise. The orbit of letters continues above you, peaceful now, without urgency, like a lullaby looping forever. The archive no longer feels like a place, it feels like a rhythm. A heartbeat shared between strangers who once dared to love. You take one final path, a soft ramp, spiraling inward and downward, where the architecture thins into suggestion. Walls become light, floors become warmth, and your body feels less like matter and more like memory. Along the ramp, you see doorways with no doors. Each one shows a different version of you, not better, not worse, just true. One stands barefoot in the ship's garden, hands in the soil. Another laughs while floating through a corridor of wind chimes. Another sits quietly, writing a letter that might never be sent, but must be written, and you keep walking. At the bottom of the spiral is a single chamber. You enter. It is round, blank, silent, but not empty. The walls pulse faintly. You feel your breath deepen, your heartbeat slow. And then, a soft sound like someone tearing paper underwater. A book appears in front of you. It opens. The pages are blank, except for one line at the top. Would you like to be remembered as love? You stare at it. Not to answer, but to understand, because you already are. The archive doesn't store stories to lock them away. It stores them to share them with the future. To remind whoever comes next that love unwritten, unfinished, unseen is still felt. You place your hand on the page. Ink flows beneath your fingertips, not letters, not language, just emotion transcribed into warmth. You close the book. The lights dim, the walls ripple once, then settle into stillness. The door behind you dissolves. You lie down, not to sleep, not to end, but to drift. Your body merges with light. Your thoughts stretch like thread. The archive accepts you not as a file, but as a frequency. And in that moment, you become part of the chorus. A quiet, eternal murmur of love still echoing through the stars. You feel yourself floating now, not through space, not through time, but through something gentler, a lull of sensation. A soft vibration of presence. The letters are behind you, or maybe within you. The archive no longer surrounds you because it is you. Your memories don't end here. They unfold like pages you forgot to read, like songs without words, like the feeling of someone brushing your shoulder even after they're gone. You breathe deeper. There's no urgency. The stars no longer call. They hum. The corridors of the ship fall away. So do the questions, the longings, the almosts. Even your name feels soft now, like it's folding into something simpler, belonging. Your thoughts fade, not lost, not erased, just rested. You remember what it meant to be loved. You remember what it meant to wait. You remember what it meant to write something that would never be answered, but would still be found. And you're still found, still felt, still part of something wide, warm, and kind. Let the archive carry you now. Let the words drift where they must. Let the silence hold you, because the story is done, and you gentle dreamer are home.